I think it's important to just continue to focus on our depth. Being able to go 10, 11 man deep gives us an opportunity to not kill anybody. Obviously, you're going to play and do what you got to do to win the games, but understanding how you manage first halves versus second halves, where you don't have to just put a ton of pressure on one guy to play a ton of minutes because of the depth that we have. So that's been our message to our guys: is embrace the depth, embrace the opportunities for your teammates to be successful, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
So then we expect to see, as these few weeks progress, I guess different lineups, different staggerings, just to go off of what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it all depends on health. But again, I would expect our guys to play in that 10-man rotation. Second halves would be dictated by how we've played, what were our opponents and how we match up, those types of things. But again, I expect everybody who's been playing to stay in that rotation, and that should just tick down everybody's minutes so that on a back-to-back, on a 5 and 7, guys should be able to be a little more fresh and be able to play the way we want to play.
Did Donovan get an extra day?
He got an extra day, yes.
Yeah. And then when you come back from the break, Evan and Darius, are their minute restrictions going to be lifted?
Their minute restrictions will be lifted, yes.
Okay.
But we'll obviously be cognizant of how they're feeling and all those things.
I gotcha. Final 29 games, what's the focus for you as a coach?
The details. I think that's the thing that we just got to continue to harp on, is paying attention to all the small things that make us successful. Are we continuing to develop the habits that we think are going to be successful, not in the short term, but in the long term? Again, that's the emphasis for our guys. And then obviously managing the health of our guys and making sure we're as healthy as we can be, but still be as productive as we can be as well.
Donovan will be back tomorrow.
Say that again?
Donovan.
He'll be here tomorrow, yeah.
Can you fix the All-Star game for us?
That's not my job.
If you could.
Uh-huh.
What would, any recommendations you would make to see that a little
I mean,
more competitive?
I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the incentive. And I think there was a time where, whatever the value was meant a lot more compared to what the value is now. And, I think if you want it, you have to up the incentives, because that's what makes the guys at the end of the day at that point in time. I think it makes it more competitive. But, I understand guys trying to get through it so that the season happens and they're prepared for that. It's a tough situation, obviously. I grew up on the more competitive games and loved those, and even over the break was watching some of the highlights of those old school games. But again, I think, it's above my pay grade, and we'll worry about the Cavs. Let you worry about that.
Thoughts on Pete getting the two-way?
Couldn't be more happy for Pete. Again, guy that's been with us in training camp, through summer league and all those things. I can't imagine what it's like to be a third generation or a third member of a family to have, wear a Cavs uniform, grow up here. Like, I don't think any of us can imagine how special that moment is for him. But again, he's a guy who's worked his tail off for it, and I think has NBA skills. Just has to get the right opportunity.
You appreciate that even more being from a basketball family yourself?
Yeah, I think I have a heightened understanding of when you have that type of role model in your house and somebody that you've looked up to every single day, and then kind of having the opportunity to fill their shoes. It is special. I think it's unique, and a different experience for everybody.
Before we left for All-Star, Darius talked about not really feeling like himself at any point really in the first 53 games. There might have been like a small stretch right before he fractured his jaw. Like, what do you need from him in the final 29 games leading into the postseason?
Just be himself and play basketball like he's capable of, and he knows where his strengths are. He's elite when he plays, and when he's comfortable and plays within himself and plays his game. And again, it's been hard for him because of the in and out, and there was so much choppiness and the changes that we were making. But again, his message is the same as everybody else's message. Be the most aggressive, confident version of yourself. And again, I think we've all seen what happens when he's that. And whatever he needs to be more comfortable, that's on me to help him. But again, we just want him to, be confident, play selfless, and compete his tail off.
Has he talked to you about different things throughout the course of a game that would make him more comfortable? And so what are those?
Yeah, I mean, those are things that I would rather not share. But he and I, like I said, we're in constant communication of what I need to do to help and how he can be the best version of himself.
Chris mentioned in 29 games you guys have left to finish 6 back-to-backs in this stretch. Like, why is this team built to be ready for this stretch?
It's the depth. I mean, I hate to just keep beating the same point, but like we have a deep team. We can get through back-to-backs because we shouldn't have to play guys, a ton of minutes and kill them and then suffer the next night or suffer the third game in 4 nights because of it. Like, we have enough guys here where we can spread it out and still be competitive and still win games.
All right.
Thank y'all.